like a plan.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Holistic Weight Loss webinar. Just some introductions super quick. I am Julie. I'm one of the co-founders of Rev Health, and we are the only company right now that does functional labs and traditional Chinese medicine and life purpose and giving you reports on, you living your best life and optimal health. Only company. And then Maddie.
That's right. My name is Maddie Cunningham. I'm the other co-founder of Rev Health. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, and functional medicine provider. And I'm super excited to be having this conversation today around holistic approaches to weight loss.
Yes.
This is a topic that is so emotionally challenging for a lot of people. And I would say a lot of women, especially, who feel really maybe discouraged about the approaches that they're taking and maybe not getting the results that they're hoping for. And, as Julie mentioned, we look at health in general really differently. And so being able to come to this conversation with something that so many people struggle with and can feel potentially maybe a little bit superficial, even to come to this conversation with a lot more depth, a lot more involving emotions in this conversation as well, and a lot more root cause care, I think will provide a lot of clarity, validation, and insight for people. So this topic is actually something I'm super passionate about. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, actually, this topic came up because of some of our members, in fact, who are on, non-holistic weight loss drugs and therapies. And this is a conversation that a lot of people have asked us, like, what can I do if I don't want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And the growing culture right now of GLP-1s, the primarily weight loss medications that a lot of people are now seeking. What we're seeing in the media, especially, is that there are side effects to these medications, and these side effects can actually be really significant. So we have people who maybe have started on them and maybe they've seen some of the results they're looking for, maybe not, but they might be having really difficult side effects. Or they're watching the people around them go on these medications and they're looking for other solutions because maybe the side effects weren't super well studied as we're seeing now, and that this has been more mass marketed. So yeah, it's a super relevant conversation. A lot of our members, we help them with more of a holistic approach when they feel like they're looking for other options.
So I think so a couple questions were coming up with people. So, and just to even for like our agenda and some of the things we wanted to talk about were, first of all, one of our mantras is good things take time.
Mhm.
So if you want, and when I used to teach aerobics, people would come in, they'd come in May 1st and they're like, I have a pool party on June 1st or Memorial Day and I need to lose 15 pounds by then. And it's like, that's not happening because, 3,500 calories are on a pound of body fat and good luck if you can do even one a week, right? So and then you're restricting yourself and it's probably short term and there's no way there's not enough time, you can't do that in 4 weeks, it's not, and if even if you could it wouldn't be sustainable. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to end up really messing up your metabolism. So one of the things that we try to teach is good things take time. As Skylar says, it's state not weight. Getting to this period in your life where you're saying, what can I do every day to feel better in my body, to feel more energized, to build the foundation that I can wake up and do fun things and know that, like, naturally the loss is going to come when you're in a more balanced state. It's going to,
Yeah.
right? You just had a member, and obviously we're not going to name names, but you had a member who trying to lose weight and working out several times a day with a calorie restriction of 900 calories a day. I mean,
Yeah.
no, you can explain what's going on in your body when that happens.
Yeah, of course. I think this is actually a great idea to go through maybe a few patient cases just
Yep.
to see, what the people we're working with are struggling with and sort of what was the underlying reason. So this case, Julie, that you just brought up, we had a client who so common to follow, and especially as women, we've just been so ingrained to believe that the more we do and the more that we restrict, the better results that we're going to get.
Yeah.
That can be true for weight loss. That can be true for so many things. We won't go open up that can of worms. But in terms of weight loss, this person was really restricting their caloric intake, highly ex increasing their exercise load to the point that they're working out multiple times a day and really confused and frustrated as to why they weren't seeing the weight loss results that they were
Yeah.
desiring. And really having to sit down with them, first of all, work through these limiting beliefs. Where did this come from? This belief that the more that I do, the more I'll be rewarded, the more maybe I'm punishing myself, the more I'll be rewarded. Sifting through that first, rebalancing your nervous system. When our body is constantly over giving emotionally, physically, energetically, there's going to be another part of us that really holds. So if we're to the point that we're really undernourishing, your body is in no state to let go of excess weight.
Right.
It is doing everything it possibly can to protect you, and that involves maintaining weight on your body. So
It
it's
thinks you're
about,
starving. I mean,
yeah,
your body
exactly.
literally thinks it's starving, and your
Yeah.
body thinks it has to save the energy so that it's not, the Donner family situation in Tahoe. You think it's this, I mean, this like analogy that potentially isn't the greatest, but that your body gives up in a sense, and it's going to hold on to everything because it thinks that it's over.
Yes.
How
And
can you
yeah.
continue to work out and expect anything at that point? And then you've got this like vicious thing where you're probably not sleeping.
Mhm.
Now you're hungry all the time, so you're going to inevitably not have the quote unquote willpower required to be on your diet. I mean, we've seen people order whole pizzas and eat the whole thing when this is happening. I mean, eventually the you can't be in an unbalanced state for too long.
Yeah, the body will always compensate. And so it's learning to be able, when so often people restrict, they're really suppressing a lot of the cues that their body is giving them. So it's a process of building up that self-trust again to really understand what your body is communicating, that it is in fact trying to support you. And how can we find a different way to go about doing that?
Yeah.
So, really important to build up trust. And usually that trust just comes with a guiding hand there to tell you, trust the process. We are here to help. We're here to help guide you to bring back trust into your body. So we've found with, I mean, so many of our members that when we ask them to do less, they get way better results. And
Yeah.
it just happens time and time again. And then about
Less
like
is
a couple
more.
months down the line, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I trusted the process. So,
Well, and another case study though is somebody that, and it's, I think it's important to talk about is that, you start doing an exercise routine, you start doing a diet route, not a diet, but you start eating cleaner and cutting out processed foods. And sometimes temporarily things get quote unquote worse before they get better. So we have this on our community. Any members can see that we actually talk about this with exercise, specifically exercise. You know, this is really like a very unscientific way to say it, but like you're building muscle faster sometimes than you're losing weight, losing fat. So you might seem the scale go up and the density and proportions of you might not be as pleasing where you're like, oh, what's happening here? I've got both. I've got both fat, like I'm like a Michelin tire, and I haven't quite gotten all the muscle yet. I haven't lost anything. And it's a temporary process when you're working towards, getting more muscle and losing the fat. The other thing that happens is you have temporary inflammation, which is going to like make you look and feel puffier. And you're also potentially having some water retention, which is going to do the same thing, look and feel puffier. So that's some of the exercise stuff that can happen. But honestly, it's 4 to 6 weeks. And it's a good sign. So any good personal trainer will tell you this is good if it's actually happening and you're like starting to see the body composition change and it's not necessarily where you want it to go. You've got to push through it. We just talked about this today. It seems to be a metaphor in life that like, things can sometimes get harder or look worse or feel worse right before they get better.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we can talk about a few other underlying root cause. If you're sitting there and you're like, I can't understand this. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't understand what exactly is going on here. Where do I need to look? We can talk about a few other underlying causes and a few other patient cases.
Or me, my weight gain.
Yeah, do you want to go into your
I
story?
do, and we can be really quick about it because I know some other people had asked us questions, and I know that the people who've joined us tonight had some questions too that we want to get into. And we can also stop recording too if anybody wants to like go into more, private, doesn't want it to be recorded. So just let us know. But my weight gain story is I gained 20 pounds in less than a year, and I was working out, I was eating healthy. There seemed to be no explanation for this whatsoever. I went to many doctors. I actually did go to personal trainers. And even though I had been a personal trainer, and people are like, you just need to work out harder. Like, why did you stop running? What's going on? I had really heavy periods, but everyone said that was normal for in my 40s. And the weight gain was normal too. I was also told that some people probably have said this to anybody over 40, your metabolism changes, just get used to it. You can't expect to have the same weight as when you were 20 or 30. Like, so that like just suddenly overnight you go from 39 to 40 and you're supposed to be 20 pounds heavier. Well, in my case, it turned out I had a ton of fibroids and one gigantic fibroid. I mean, by the time when I had surgery, it ended up being like almost 15 centimeters, and I had reduced it with acupuncture. So this thing was a big fibroid. It had extended my stomach. And remarkably, about a month, 2 months after I had the fibroid surgery, my weight went down. So it was the reason that I was gaining weight was one, the fibroid was heavy, but also because everything about it, I was like retaining, I had blood everywhere. I was retaining water, all the things. And my body was fighting every single day, essentially like a parasite. This fibroid had grown, it's a tumor and its own blood supply. So when the root cause was removed, I was able to lose the weight. I was able to look and feel healthier. My iron levels stabilized, everything stabilized. My blood work looked a lot better. That's one example. We can see, I mean, it's, between 70 and 80% of women over 45 have fibroids. Whether or not they're problematic, some people don't have any problem with it whatsoever, just like with mold and other things. We're all very different. But in a lot of cases, it's a cause of unexplained weight gain. So it's something to look into, and your blood work will show it.
Yeah,
PCOS?
absolutely. Some really common reasons. Yeah, we see for women or for anyone really for difficulty with weight. All weight gain is just an imbalance in the body. Your body has like a thermostatic set point that it really likes. And so you'll usually find, there's some kind of weight, it doesn't matter what that number is, but your body has a thermostat of what it likes to maintain at this homeostatic level of what it considers normal. When it goes above and below that, it's a sign that something else is going on. So some really common reasons and what we've really helped our members with, identifying bacteria overgrowth on a stool sample
Mm,
analysis, huge reason why people have a really hard time gaining muscle and they have a hard time feeling really lean in
yeah.
their bodies. A big sign of feeling that puffy feeling, more inflammation. That's really, really common. If we have candida overgrowths going on in the gut, really common to be really craving sugar really often. That can result in inflammation and weight gain. That
Mm,
happens all the time.
yeah.
Uh, Certain medications like the birth control pill, you're on more acid blocking medications, can really affect stomach acid production, makes it hard to digest foods, can lead to weight gain. Birth control use, known to shift the microbiome, can lead to weight gain. If you have mold, can be one of the biggest reasons for unexplained weight gain. We've had several patients who are members of ours that have mold as a root cause reason for why they are slowly gaining weight over time. And sometimes it can actually be quite rapid.
Mm,
Mold can also be certain strains estrogenic. So if you are struggling with more of those hormone fluctuations, that can be a reason. Some diagnoses like PCOS can cause weight gain. High or low testosterone in women and men can cause weight gain. If you're not able to gain muscle really adequately, testosterone helps us do that. Environmental pollutants, we have this environmental pollutants panel. A lot of those environmental pollutants are really estrogenic. So things like plastics, like BPA, phthalates, other plasticizer, parabens, they really affect our estrogen metabolism. And when we have high amounts of what's called xenoestrogens in the body, they mimic estrogen, can really cause weight gain. And that really shifts our hormone balance, can also contribute to things like fibroids. food sensitivity. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right.
So
Root cause.
what we're
Yeah.
root causes is that the weight gain is a symptom of something else.
Yep.
And I would be remiss if I also didn't touch on more emotional causes of weight gain as well, because when we come from this perspective that the body is always protecting us,
Mm.
we can understand emotionally why, what might be going on there. And if there is a fear of being seen, or maybe this added weight is adding some kind of layer of protection from you, whether that's emotionally or physically. That's something we like to explore with our members as well. How is this body state in some maladaptive way, in fact, benefiting us? And can we get our needs met in a different way? So we look at, yes, the physical root causes, but also understanding more of the traditional Chinese medicine mindset. What is the emotional need that's getting met here, and how can we do this differently?
This is a really interesting topic, actually, because emotionally, if you think about it, weight gain is going to cause you to maybe, stay inside and to relax more and to kind of hide out. But it's your body, literally, it's protecting itself. It's like right now is not the time for you to be high functioning. A lot of our members are very high functioning. They're on planes all the time, they're traveling, they've got work, they've got kids, they've got a lot of balancing acts. And the body is literally telling you this can't be done right now.
Yeah, if we don't have enough trust in ourselves and our nervous system to meet our own needs, your body will meet them for you. So if there, I know, if there isn't a trust that you are going to be able to know when to rest, that you feel comfortable being seen by others, that you feel comfortable in relationship to other people, all of these things, if that established, if there's parts of us that don't trust that part of ourselves, your body will manifest it physically. So oftentimes this is a maladaptive protection mechanism. And once we start meeting those needs in other ways, maybe we're showing up and listening to our nervous systems more. Maybe we're getting more comfortable being authentically ourselves. Maybe we're pursuing our purpose. That weight emotionally has a way higher chance of being less protective for you.
Yeah, I mean, people don't, I mean, it's very rarely talked about, but it is actually all of it. I mean, we know too that statistically, if you don't sleep a lot, like the next morning you wake up, you're going to crave more sugar, you're like high fat foods and, eat more because your body is in a state of depletion. And so it's trying to do what it can to like make it feel better temporarily. Well, if you do that every day, then you're going to have some weight gain there as well. So, emotional state, your sleep, your stress, your entire life balance, it all is related. I mean, we just moved across country and we're driving and there was a little bit of weight gain that happened. It's temporary though, when you start thinking of it as, well, the body is telling us to slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
can naturally get out in the sun and add some hikes and every day work to just feel healthier.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, of course. And it's just, I think with the conversations of the GLP-1s, they do a job, and most of the time they do it effectively. But why they don't work long term is because you're not solving the root cause problem. So it is going to provide you with a temporary solution. The moment you stop taking them, they stop working because those body mechanisms are still there. So we're really encouraging people.
And there's
There,
side effects.
yes, and
So
there's really significant side effects. So if you can find the underlying reason, and there is a reason, I will assure you, there's always
there's
a
a reason.
reason. It just takes some investigation to find out why the body is responding that way. Then you can heal instead of treat symptomatically.
That's right. We've been successful in getting some people off them. And it's okay. You can do a program like ours and one of the protocols and be on it and then understand what the root cause is and work on that simultaneously and, eventually getting to the point where you're like, oh, uh, maybe I don't need that anymore because I've identified the root problem.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. My heart just goes out. I've struggled with weight in my past. I mean, Julie's seen past pictures of me. It's
Couldn't
actually
believe it.
wild.
Could not believe it. It was wild.
And I
Yeah.
was just existing in a super inflamed body. And I remember, oh my gosh, reading all these books by these functional medicine experts and just not understanding why my body wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And I would restrict and I would diet and I was trying so hard and nothing I did was going to make a difference until I started healing the root causes, which for me was a whole host of issues, including those limiting self-beliefs and nervous system dysregulation. So it took a really comprehensive approach, but now, even with these fluctuations with life changes and moving, yeah, we'll see temporarily gains and shifts.
Right.
Um,
Temporary.
yeah, but my body has a really homeostatic baseline. And it is possible for you. So I just want to expand everyone's belief systems. That used to be me. I was super frustrated and confused and so upset that I just couldn't lose weight. And now on the other side of it, I'm so grateful for this journey because I was able to see the full picture.
Yeah. And I know we had some questions. We might stop recording to take some of them. I can see in the chat that maybe somebody wants to just, so definitely let us know, if you guys have any questions and want to say it publicly, but we have.
Oh, we can talk a little bit about the summer refresh.
Oh yeah, but before we get there, yeah, I'm excited about it. June 18th, 2 days
Yes,
before the summer solstice.
that's
So
right.
we just finished our spring reset yesterday, which was a 6 week program. This one is 3 weeks with, a final week where we do a certificate of completion. It's really exciting. It's on the website. It's revhealth.com/summer-refresh. We will put the link in the comments on YouTube for this. And yeah, Maddie, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's going to be amazing. So the first 2 weeks, we'll go over a lot of more of the physical and emotional things to focus on in the summer season. Summer is the fire element in traditional Chinese medicine. It's awesome. Some fire feels really good. It's very energetic. You have lots of more. It'll be really nice to celebrate this in community with people. So the first 2 weeks we'll be going over a lot of boundary setting, how to reach your goals, a lot more of those physical causes we talked about today. And then in that third week, we'll be talking a lot about how to really support your metabolism. Oh, nice. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah.
So a lot of the causes that we talked about today about, slower metabolism, we're going to be going over a lot of that, especially in week 3 of this summer reset. So it'll be really great.
Here, I'll just scroll down a little bit. So I love the fact that in summer, it's really a season of like joy. It's, we know
Mhm.
that we get more energy, and it's a very potent, powerful time to do these things. Build the healthy habits, take the action on all the things that you've been planning in the spring, all the things you said you were going to do. Now is the time to maybe take the action and do these things, and then boosting your metabolism. So healthy foods and fun exercises where maybe you can actually be outside. I know some of our Texas members are like, nope, but maybe really early in the morning or after the sun goes down, if it feels good for you to that. But yeah, we've got 3 weeks, and this one is actually open to people who aren't members. So we'll put this in here, and it's a cost, and you can just do that. And for our members, of course, it is free, like all of our resets. All of our seasonal resets are free. So feel free to go on this, and we'd love to have you come on and get a little taste of our way, our philosophy, how we see health as being the full picture, and get to know us a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be really great. I love our seasonal reset programs.
It'll be fun. 3 weeks starts the 18th. All right, so we're gonna stop this and take some questions for people that don't want to be recorded, which I completely respect and understand. But good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Thank God.